Welcome to the Untitled Bad Movie Podcast, where we have a fucking good time with some fucking bad movies. I am Alesandria Mentari.
And I'm Robin Caldwell, and today we will be looking at After We Collided, a 2020 Wattpad production starring Josephine Langford, Hero Fiennes-Tiffin, and Dylan Sprouse, directed by Robert Cumble.
Roger.
Oh, shoot. Thank you. Roger Cumble. Nailed it. This movie was brought to us by our own Alesandria Mentari, who is creating a fantastic vibe in the studio today. How are you doing, Alesandria?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm just, when I came in and set up my gear, I was thinking, will this be the movie that really pushes our friendship? Will it make you think, maybe I should get better friends? Or will it be like, you know what, who else will do this with me? I don't know.
I don't know either, and I wouldn't have wanted it. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I wouldn't have wanted to watch this with anybody else.
I mean, honestly, I feel like watching this alone is kind of more embarrassing than watching it with a person.
I don't know. Yeah. So you have seen this already. This is my first time seeing it.
Yeah, I watched it for the sole purpose of the podcast, which is kind of goes against our rules of we have to have seen it before. It's this is a movie I kind of watched through YouTube commentaries. I'm okay, what is it like actually sitting through this? I'm oh, it's as bad as I thought.
Yeah, it was very, so as you may have heard me mention in the introduction, I said that this was a Wattpad production.
Yeah, so it was based off a fan fiction about Harry Styles, but it's a bad boy Harry Styles. So he swears, he curses, he abuses alcohol.
He's played by young Voldemort.
Yeah, a guy whose name is freaking Hero Fiennes-Tiffin. Wait, hold on, I have Wikipedia. I'm going to look at his full name because it is it is a thing. His full name is Hero Beauregard Faulkner Fiennes-Tiffin.
That is a great name.
It's great.
That's so great. He was really fun in this, and the weird thing was I did not realize who he was, and then at one point you were like, oh yeah, he's Ralph Fiennes' nephew, and he played young Voldemort, and I was like, oh, that's why he looks familiar. Oh no.
Yep, young Voldemort in that Wizard series.
Yep, young Voldemort. You get to see him in some sex scenes, which once I had that knowledge made it a lot more uncomfortable.
I thought you were so chill with some of the scenes because in this is basically a fanfic, so every 5 minutes there's a fucking love scene.
Girl, I've been rewatching Weeds, so compared to that show, this was nothing in terms of sex scenes. It was fine.
All right, I get that. But yeah, honestly, I figured that for the podcast we would eventually do a movie that is connected to Wattpad somehow. I didn't think it would be After. I honestly thought it would be The Kissing Booth or The Kissing Booth 2.
Are those based on Wattpad as well?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The Kissing Booth is based off a story that was written on Wattpad. It was original, so it's not these are the boys from Supernatural or anything. No, it was original. And yeah, I'm just shocked that Netflix put money into it when you consider how expansive it is. Because the Kissing Booth sequel is 2 hours long.
Wow.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
once again, I did not realize, when you suggested this movie, I did not realize that it was a sequel. And so, we're
the sequel
3
show,
episodes now where we talked about sequels. We gotta change it up.
I know. I have a few rip-offs. I might have mentioned Titanic, The Legend Goes On, which is...
Yes.
Well, me and Robin once watched it when we tried to watch Birds of Prey, but couldn't get it to work on Zoom.
Uh-huh.
Yep. We watched Titanic, The Legend Goes On, and...
Because that's on YouTube.
Yep. Well, there's also the uncut version, which is longer, and,
Contains more singing.
Yeah. That they only have one song, so that's the funny part. Just song and repeat.
So what is this movie about? So Alesandra, if you wouldn't mind,
After We Collided.
Yeah, After We Collided. So they do kind of a recap of the first movie at the beginning of this movie, and I feel like it was pretty comprehensive. But in your opinion, did they miss anything? Have you seen the first one?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Actually, the first one isn't that bad. It's just kind of boring. From what I hear, the book is more chaotic, but not chaotic in a ha-ha-ha way, but chaotic in a Jesus, y'all need therapy kind of way.
Yeah, everyone in this movie needs therapy. At least a little bit. Just a quick sesh.
It's kind of worse in the book, as well, or just from what I hear about the book. Because in the movie verse of the after cinematic universe, there's a bet going on where, we didn't mention the guy is named fucking Hardin Scott. Like, the guy who's supposed to be Harry Styles in the fan fiction was renamed to Hardin Scott.
Hardin Scott.
Yep.
It's not even that name doesn't even have a similar vibe to Harry Styles. Like, it's just the same letters, the same initials.
Liam or Louis, they either one of them becomes Landon, and I don't know which one.
Yeah, and Landon is like the stepbrother of the Harry Styles character.
Yeah, stepbrothers of Hardin. Honestly, I'm surprised that Hardin didn't get bullied by Landon for having a name that's like frickin' Hardin. Like, you think Hardin has a hard life? Landon has to have a stepbrother named Hardin.
This is true.
Yeah, and he's
no offense to any Hardins that may be listening to this show. You're fine. It's just in the context of this movie, that name is ridiculous.
Yes.
But very sorry if we have hurt your feelings thus far.
Yeah. Oh my God, we get canceled because we made fun of the Hardins.
We get canceled by the Hardin Club.
Yeah.
They all meet.
They have their own Reddit. r/Hardins.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's start it. If it doesn't already exist, let's have that be the subreddit of our show.
Yeah. Okay, and back to the One Direction thing. So
yes.
Niall becomes Noah, I think, and Zayn becomes Zed, and is played by a white dude. Because Zayn is the one brown guy in One Direction.
Fantastic.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. Yeah, that's about all I know. Like, I'm not a directioner
So the character of Trevor in this movie was not based on a One Direction person?
I don't think so at all.
An original character?
Also, I just don't know, because, again, not a directioner. My sister is. Like, actually, before we watched the movie, I talked to my sister, like, hey, so I'm going to watch the Harry Styles movie with Robin for the podcast. Do you know anything about After back in the day? 'Cause she was there in the height of Direction Hood, so I asked her.
She was in the fandom.
Yeah, but also my phrasing went, as a current or former directioner, and she said, current. I'm like, okay, as an eternal directioner.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her, for the band that broke up. I feel like I can't mention that or else she'll beat me.
It's a shame that they broke up. I think I think those kids were good together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directioners be passionate though, because like,
this is true.
Yeah, I remember when I joked to my sister about, like, LOL, Zayn left One Direction. She's like, don't talk about that in that way. It's like, she could technically do the same to me if she just mentioned something about, like, Pokemon where, like, I don't want to acknowledge that it happened. But, you know, I'm the younger sister. I have to tease.
Of course.
Yeah, it comes in the job. So, anyways, back to After We Collided. So
so this movie you were explaining the previous movie.
In the previous movie, it's the typical good girl meets bad boy, a.k.a. Harry Styles, but tattoos and piercings, because that was very popular back then. And Hardin Scott makes a bet with his friends that he could fall in love with the girl named Tessa. She's the protagonist, Tessa.
Make her fall in love with him?
Yeah, that he could make her fall in love with him and then turn it off. And it's like, that's not much of a bet, man. But, like, in the book, it's worse because the bet is that he can take her virginity, and as evidence, what he does is he keeps the bloodied sheets and the condom. So,
yikes!
Yeah.
That's some sociopath shit.
Yeah, on that basis alone, I would move to, like, Boise, Idaho, and stay there forever, or like I would just deport him back to the UK. Like, he's done a lot. Like, I feel like some of the stuff that he's done might be on the basis of you can't be in this country anymore.
His general demeanor, at least, like, if this movie is any indication, his general demeanor is like, we kept making jokes while we were watching it. We were like, there should be some horror movie edit of, like, every now and again he would just appear, and even the way that it was framed was very just sinister looking, and it was like, we get it, he's the bad boy, but, like, there needs to be some violin, like, strings happening.
Yeah. Like,
what's it called? That, like,
jump scare, like psycho strings.
Kind of thing. Psycho strings, sure. Yeah, we need some of that.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he's supposed to be the bad boy, but he doesn't really sell, like, bad boys to me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I think, like...
Excuse you, he played Voldemort, so I think he knows how to play bad boys.
Excuse me, he wears all black and he has a leather jacket.
Exactly.
I mean, by that criteria, my sister's a bad boy. And he has tattoos. But yeah, again, on that criteria, my sister's probably a bad boy.
Oh my God. Honestly, love that journey for her. That's great.
Yeah. But still, it's not really selling me bad boy, but it's also because, like, I'm a big fan of the Netflix show You, and, like, that show really sold to me, like, bad boy, and he's a sociopathic serial killer. Like, yeah, that is a bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, his relationship with his quote-unquote love interest is toxic. He's a bad boy, but, like, this is interesting.
Yeah, this guy was just kind of like, he had PTSD and wore black and was a bit rude sometimes.
Yeah.
He was more of a rude dude than a bad boy.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'll litter, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck about littering. I'll have sex with my girlfriend inside an office. Jesus.
Yeah, hated that. Hated everything about that. Yeah, so the plot of this movie, are we pretty much up to speed here? There was a bet,
that's
and then
the
they
first
broke up.
movie. Yeah, they broke up, and
Yes.
it's a breakup in the rain. He rakes his hands through his hair, and it's like,
Oh no.
And then I can't remember what song was playing, but wouldn't it be great if that Hilary Duff song played? Let
Coming
the
Clean.
rain fall down and make my dreams. No, but an edgy version with like an indie singer.
Oh my God,
So
yeah,
like,
you slow it down a little bit and make it
let
acoustic
the
for sure.
rain fall down, break my dreams, let it wash away my sanity.
Yeah, make it southern. Love that. Love that for them.
Yeah, listen to my EP, guys. Alesandria did her best. That's my EP.
Seriously, do you have an EP coming out?
No, I
Dude,
don't.
get on it.
I mean, I would love to try, but I actually attempted to write a song last night, but it didn't work out. Yeah. Let's not talk about that. Back to this
Let's not talk
movie.
about that. Back to this stupid movie.
So yeah, the second movie starts with Hardin like being, oh God, I can't say his name seriously. It starts with Hardin Scott being like upset and depressed over his breakup and stuff. He goes to like a tattoo artist and like it's not a good tattoo artist because she offers him alcohol before she works and he's like, no thanks, I like the pain.
Is that what he says? Oh my God.
Yeah, didn't hear that? That's like the line that a lot of people find like cringy because the tattoo artist's like, come on, it'll ease the pain. And he's like, I like the pain.
Oh, to establish that he's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy and he's hurting, but like,
wow.
Still though, like I would just don't go to a tattoo place where you get offered like alcohol and.
Yeah.
I mean,
it didn't seem very great.
Yeah. Whatever. And then. Back on the brighter side of things, Tessa Young are basically stand-in for the reader, like the author avatar.
Yes, she starts a new job in publishing.
Because that's so original in publishing, and like it's one of those like movie versions of publishing where the only other books that she mentions are like older ones, and it's like the classics.
Yeah,
but
she's only read Wuthering Heights,
Pride and Prejudice,
Dangerous Liaisons,
Sense and Sensibility, some Margaret Atwood. But like, here's the thing. I mentioned this to Robin, but if she's in publishing for like newer books, wouldn't she know like any newer titles?
Well, there is like one scene at the beginning where her boss, to like establish that she's good at her job, she like wakes up at her desk and her boss is there and like she's clearly spent the night in the office and he's like talking to her about her book opinions because she read 3 books in one night and gave her opinion on all 3 of them and wow. So she is familiar with some new-ish authors within the universe of
but I mean like newly published books. I mean like, hey, this book was released last year, blah blah blah. I'm just saying, as somebody who follows like a few authors on Twitter, not remotely as many as I could follow, it's like, yeah, it's important to stay up to date and stuff.
Yeah, totally. Let's get some John Green in there. Let's get some Alice Munro.
Yeah, it's like it's an industry that's more complicated than just you read Pride and Prejudice a lot. Here's a job. It's about selling and marketing. It's a lot about pitching, and clearly, like I have spent too much time thinking about this movie when I'm dissecting it like this.
Yeah, there are a couple times where you just like have questions that do not get answered.
Or they just like they don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I don't care about the grand scheme of things. We'll talk more as we go down. Yeah. So anyways, it's Tessa's first day at work and fun fact, she runs into Dylan Sprouse, who plays, like, her coworker, and, like, they have some kind of cute chemistry, but he's not a bad boy, and he doesn't love literature, so he's not the one for her.
Yeah, but he does have glasses that he pushes up his nose bridge when he's perturbed, and that makes him a dork character.
He's a dork. Here's the thing. I hate to admit this, but he is 100% my type, so that's why I'm like, I would go for him. Not just because he treats her better and doesn't, like, have all that explosive behavior and stuff. He is my type, so maybe I'm a bit biased.
I mean, I will say, like, as a fan of Zach and Cody growing up, it was kind of nice to see Dylan Sprouse play, like, the bookish one for a change.
And also
instead, like, he was the foil to the bad boy in this story.
Yeah,
that was kind of
he
fun.
was the nice one, but, like, I just liked him in this movie, and in a way, he feels, like, too grounded for the movie, as in he's putting too much effort into his performance in making, like, a believable character.
Honestly, I think I will say, this movie, its badness comes from it being a fan fiction and having its roots kind of soaked in fan fiction.
Yeah.
The acting itself was really good, I thought, in general.
I thought, like, young Voldy was kind of the weakest link in the chain, but also it's because his dialogue is just bad. Like,
they also gave him the worst lines.
Like, I don't even think that, like, Cate Blanchett could do this. Like, that's the fun thing I like to do. When I see, like, bad movie dialogue, I try to think, okay, is the dialogue bad or is the acting bad? And then I imagine, like, Jessica Chastain, like, saying the dialogue. And, like, if it's still bad, like, yeah, it's the dialogue. If it's comedic, like, well, I would still pay to watch that. Oh my God, I would pay to see Jessica Chastain, like, just fall into this role and then just say everything with all that effort.
Yeah. While we are on this subject, can I just say, Kristen Stewart is a good actress.
Yes,
but because she was known for playing Bella Swan, the worst character ever, well, not the worst, but, like, a pretty bad character, she had a lot of bad dialogue. How was she supposed to work with that?
Yeah.
I would just, if I could get on the soapbox for a second.
Same.
Yes,
Like,
Kristen Stewart deserves better.
Dialogue. It's like, I think that Dakota Johnson is actually a good actress, but she also has to say dialogue like, what are butt plugs?
Oh my God. Yeah, no, but she's good. Yeah. She's good.
It's like, she's just working with what she has, and it's another thing of the movie. Like, everyone seems pretty talented, just this dialogue has lines like, I know I fucked up, I know. Like, of course I love her. I've never fucking felt this way about anyone. That's weird. God. Okay, so moving on, when Tessa at her publishing company, she gets roped into a business trip where she, Dylan Sprouse, and some of her bosses go to a club to meet an investor.
Yeah, it's like a business thing, but they end up going to a club where there are, like, naked, glittery people dancing on a stage.
Also, Tessa's 19, so...
Yeah. How was she there? How was she getting served alcohol?
This is a Wattpad fantasy, okay? I think that's a lot of things of this movie. If something doesn't make sense, it's part of the fantasy.
It's great.
Like the fantasy where the only thing you worry about is your relationship. Like where for, like, your job, everything works out and you get what you want, but your relationship is all you focus on. I gotta be honest, that doesn't sound like a fantasy because, like, if it's just, I don't know, it just sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I will say it was kind of fun to watch. It did feel very fanficky, this movie, and it was fun to be... It was kind of fun. Like, as somebody who read a lot of fan fiction in her teen years, it was kind of fun. Totally. It was kind of fun to be like, oh, the protagonist gets to go shopping now? Wow. Yeah. And she gets to have her little, like, walking down the stairs moment, and Dylan Sprouse is like, wow, you look good. I was like, see, this is nice.
I guess. Okay, she didn't even look that good. That goddamn gold dress.
She had, like, a gold H&M dress. This is true. Yeah. But it looked nice on her. It did look nice on her.
I mean, in my own opinion, like, I wouldn't go, wow. I'd be like, did you get that from H&M? Or did you get that from, like, Nordstrom? Because if you got it from Nordstrom, geez. I'm sorry, a little bit of a fashion snob here.
Totally.
I mean, it's like, she's also blonde and, like, gold on blonde. I'm like, you can make it work.
I like that. But yeah, so they're at this party.
They're at the club.
They're at the club.
Obviously, she gets drunk. And then she drunk dials her ex.
Yes.
Oh, so 50 Shades. This is, like, the first half is basically 50 Shades of
a little bit, except they have more of a history.
More of a history, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she drunk styles her ex, and then she goes up to her hotel room with Dylan Sprouse, where they have some really nice chemistry. But, something in the conversation that comes up is that he doesn't like fiction books. So I'm like, wow, that's a deal breaker. You don't like classic literature? Ugh.
Exactly. Oh, but then, oh no, she spills some wine on him and he has to take his shirt off. Oh, darn, oh no.
Yeah, like she couldn't just say, like, hey, do you want to go to your room and change? He has a room in this hotel, too.
Yeah, he's, like, right next door, supposedly. And it's just like, oh, no, you got to stay here. Like, I got to help you with this. It wouldn't be
far. Like, even if she's on the top floor and she's on the bottom floor, like, that wouldn't be that far. Like, I just say, hey, do you want to change? Like, I got wine on your shirt. Do you want to change? But no, like, he has to, like, take off his clothes, be down to his boxers, and then bad boy Hard
And then
Scott
that's when her ex comes in because he was using the GPS tracking on her phone, because that's healthy.
Yeah.
And then they, so of course it's like crazy misunderstanding. He sees Dylan Sprouse in his boxers, and he's like, you're cheating on me. This is ridiculous.
Not cheating. They're not even together. But he's like, fucking Trevor. I'm sorry,
we find out that they know each other somehow. Yeah. That was a weird, like, curveball to be thrown right then.
But also, like, here's another thing. According to the commentary community, so many people think that Hardin Scott's British accent is really bad, and he's actually British. He's a Fiennes. I'm like, I can kind of see it, because, I mean, it's not like he's in the cast of The Crown or anything, but, like, I can see why you guys think it's fake.
I love that. I love that people were like, I call bullshit.
I call bullshit. This freaking Fiennes guy, the member of the Fiennes family, has a bad British accent. Like, imagine doing your own accent bad. But it's kind of like with, like, if a Canadian actor, someone like me, was told to do a more Canadian accent, and I have to go around saying shit like a boot. Yeah. Which I've never heard anyone say, but that's I'm probably not from that part of Canada.
Yeah. I've heard a few people say it.
But anyways, back to, like, fucking Trevor. So anyways, they shoo Trevor out of the room, and Hardin and Tessa argue, and then they bang.
Yeah. Yep. And I will say there's a great moment where, because she's really wasted. Yeah. And so the next morning she regrets it. And honestly, like, it was kind of creepy of him to just track her there. And anyway, but
she doesn't fixate on that a lot. She's more like, why are you here, instead of like, holy shit, you use my location to find me.
Yeah, it was a really creepy thing that he did, and it's just not really framed as such. But anyway, there's a great moment that I personally loved where she gets up, she gets like a call to go into work, and it's like, you need to be down in the lobby in 5 minutes. So she's like scrambling and getting all of her stuff together.
As you do.
And then he follows her out of the room, and she's like, you need to put something on, because he's still like naked or in his underwear or whatever. And so he just turns to the nearest room service tray and does the tablecloth trick and just like tears it out from underneath without spilling anything and just throws that over himself. Yeah. And I personally, like, I don't know if that was part of the books or if that was just something that Hero could already do that they wrote into the script. Yeah. I loved that moment. It was so unexpected and lovely. But, like, that was a beautiful time.
It makes me wonder, like, how many times did it take for them to get that? Because, the table trick, that's not something you just do. I mean, you could get lucky and just do it, but because I know how film production works, they probably tried many times to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I just imagine, like, after he does the take, like, in the background, the crew is like, yes!
Yeah, he finally got it. It's like that, there's like that one scene in Scott Pilgrim where it took them forever, because Michael Cera had to throw a box into the garbage behind him, and they wanted it to be a practical effect, so he had to do like 80 takes or something.
Yep. I've been on set before where we had to throw a piece of paper onto a book, like on a desk, and the piece of paper wasn't landing like directly on the book. It was crunched up. It wasn't landing directly on the book. Like, the actress couldn't do it from where she was. An extra couldn't do it from where he was. So the AD just went up and then stood barely off camera, dropped it on, and when it landed perfectly, you could hear, like, some people, like, trying to, like, muffled cheering, like, yes! So, just imagine that, but with the tablecloth trick, just multiple times. And it's Robin's favorite part of the movie.
Actually, looking back on it, I think that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
And then it goes downhill from there. Oh, we didn't mention, during the love scene, like a few minutes before, a song with the lyrics, "Forbidden Love," plays while they're begging. Like, this is not forbidden. They just can't really
They broke
stand
up.
each other.
They broke up and now they're getting back together.
Like,
How is
nothing,
that?
nothing is stopping them. They're just having some issues. And hey,
Yeah.
just because like you have some communication issue with someone, it doesn't mean your love is forbidden. It just means you got to work on communicating.
Yeah.
But this is what tuned me into this is what made me fascinated with the movie. It's like, it makes you think, like, is this what straight people, or specifically straight, white, able-bodied people, want to fantasize about? They want the feeling of their love being forbidden, but they don't want the actuality.
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
But
the thing is, like in that fantasy, usually there is something that they create some hurdles for the couple so that the love does feel forbidden, like class levels or like something.
That doesn't seem to be an issue here. He seems...
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing really standing in their way, and yet when they're together, it is somehow forbidden love. Sure.
Yeah. It's another thing I've noticed with like young adult teen movies is that like a lot of people tend to be like quite financially well off. Like,
yeah,
like the apartment, like, oh my God, our hero, or pun intended, our hero, Hardin Scott, he drives an old muscle car, which is like, those are kind of expensive to keep up. But I guess he wouldn't be a bad boy if he just rolled up in a Toyota Echo.
Yeah. Yeah, aesthetics are very important.
Yeah.
And apparently money is no object in this universe. Despite the fact that, did he have a job? Because I remember thinking at one point, I was like, does this man have a job?
Yeah,
I do not think he does.
I think he worked at the publishing place before. Doesn't mention
yeah,
why
but what's
he
he
left.
doing now?
I don't know. He's being,
yeah, they didn't
like,
mention why
depressed.
he left.
Well, I think he's supposed to be a college student.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay, but
With
you're not...
no classes to go
He's not
to.
going to class.
And he can just go back to England at a moment's notice.
Oh, this takes place during their Christmas break, doesn't it?
Oh, right, yeah, it is kind of around that time of the year.
It's the warmest Christmas you ever see in Washington.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The only reason you can tell that it's like December is because people have Santas on their lawns, but it's like bright and sunny.
Yeah, but it's the Pacific Northwest. Like, we would know what December looks like. It gets dark in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything is so bright and sunny, and it's to the point, like, this is not fucking Washington. I checked, it was filmed in Atlanta. So,
that's fun.
Yeah, it's another, like, film city, like, so good on them. They probably got some good tax cuts and stuff, or something with the taxes, I don't know. I don't know taxes and stuff. I'm an adult, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
moving on.
So where were we in the plot?
They bang, and then,
yeah, she goes to She goes to work for a bit.
And then she goes back to the old apartment that she shares, that Tessa shared with Hardin, reminisces about the old times, and, like, she finds a Kindle that
because
he bought
it's her
for
birthday.
her. And obviously it's only filled with classical books that are, you know, in the public domain, so they don't need to pay anyone for the rights to use them. Mm-hmm. What? That's another reason why all these protagonists love just playing classic books.
That's true. Yeah. What a fun way to go about it. Yeah, so she finds the Kindle, and then he comes in
with his
mom, who weirdly looks a lot like her.
Yep.
That was a fun thing where it was like, it looks like they should be the ones playing relatives, but okay, sure. She's also British, so she's his mom.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. It's a whole lot of things. She looks like his mom. Like, wow, this is more 50 Shades than we thought. It's like part of the subtext. I think they just want to give him like some mommy issues. And, like, maybe. I mean, he seems to love his mom, but like, well, his love interest looks a little too similar to his mom. So what are you talking about? By
the way, we've brought up 50 Shades a couple times. For anybody that is listening and for some reason doesn't know, 50 Shades is also based on fan fiction.
Yeah, Twilight fan fiction. Yeah.
So get into it. There's a whole genre of fan fiction movies, and all of them are wonderful.
Yep, and you know, me and Robin were big fans of Dan Olsen, another fellow Canadian content creator, and he also made like a 3-hour-long series analyzing the 50 Shades movies. And you know what?
From a filmmaking perspective.
Yep, from a filmmaking perspective, from an internet historian perspective, which I swear to God, that is going to be a job one day, when it's going to be, go back to ff.net and find, like, Cassandra Clare's old fan fiction.
Oh my God.
Yep. It's like the internet is such a big rabbit hole. Like, I love looking at old internet history, like of My Immortal, the origins of that.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ, yep.
When are we getting a My Immortal movie?
I don't know, but you know, Harry Potter better be in the public domain soon. Like, let's get it in the public domain. I don't want to give that lady any more money. Public domain, it is.
Yeah.
It'll be ours, and then we'll make the My Immortal movie.
Yep.
I will play Ebony Darkness, Dementia Ravenway.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so back to the movie. We keep getting, we always get so tangential in this podcast. Whatever,
That's
it's
just
fine.
what makes us special. So anyways, so now Hardin and Tessa have to pretend they're in a relationship so the mom doesn't...
Right.
Because the mom didn't realize that they broke up. And he didn't tell her, so like, oh my god, we gotta pretend to be together. More fanfic.
And they have to share a bed.
There's only one bed.
Oh darn, there's only one bed for them, and they have to share. Oh my gosh.
They share the bed, and like, okay, if they wanted to like nothing to happen, like I really wonder why did he sleep shirtless then? Like, wouldn't that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that like add maybe a layer of like subtext you don't want to add on? It's like, I mean, do what you want when you're in bed, like in the sense of like wear what you want because it's your bed. But like, if you're sharing it with someone, when you like,
I feel like they could have,
about
in general, more precautions could have been taken for these two people who really didn't want a bone. Supposedly, like he offered to sleep on the floor,
and she was
like no, and they could, but. Even if they were sharing a bed, they could have done a pillow barrier.
Yeah.
They could have worn more clothes.
Yeah.
Because both of them are not wearing enough clothes. Like, there was more to be done. But because it's a fan fiction, they're like, oh, whoopsie-doopsie, now we're fucking.
Now we're
and
finger banging into bed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was very, like, hand stuff heavy, that scene.
Yeah, it went on for too long where I'm like, is it over yet? Because, like, they can't just, like, fade to black. They have to, like, linger on this for a while.
Yeah. That was something else I noticed in a few of these scenes, including the sex scenes, is like they would end them by just kind of panning over to a couch or whatever.
Because that's
or
sexy.
Just like
yeah,
sure.
Couches are sexy, don't you know?
Oh, okay. Cool. I missed out on that. But yeah, like it would just like no, I'm not panned to a couch. That I'm describing it poorly, but like. You'd see them on the couch and then the camera would lower so that you were now behind the couch and then that would fade to black. They did that a couple times where it would just like pan over to a wall or a banister or a chair.
They couldn't fade to black normally. It had to be with furniture. Leave your furniture out of the Harry style fanfic.
But it kept creating this like weird voyeuristic angle and I didn't like it. I did not appreciate that.
That's true. Like why add this voyeuristic angle with the cinematography when like that's not what you want the viewer to feel. If you want them to feel...
This is about...
Yeah, it's about a fantasy. You want to feel titillated. You want to feel like you're into this. So don't make it seem like you're creeping on a couple.
Yeah. Very creepy.
Yep. And then what else happens? She wakes up.
Yeah.
Tessa
she wakes up.
Talks to Hardin's mom. She says that, like, when he was with you, the nightmares went away. Because, you know, he has PTSD.
Oh, right. Yes. This is where we find out, too. Yeah, he has a PTSD nightmare and wakes up panting.
An event in his past. Like, I didn't explain this to you, and I don't think they explained it in the film, but basically,
some kind of home invasion, right?
Ken Scott, Hardin's father, got drunk one night, went to a bar, pissed off a bunch of guys, and then left the bar. Those angry guys went to his home where Hardin and his mom were, and the angry drunk guys broke in and assaulted his mom, and Hardin watched it. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah, that is a lot, but this movie does not have, like, the sensitivity to handle something like that.
Yeah, it's not a very sensitive portrayal. It's kind of
it's not sensitive at all because they have the mom say like, I took him to therapist and nothing worked. The nightmare stopped when he was with you. I'm like, I don't think they did because he had a nightmare when she was in the bed beside him and like, I don't think it was working. I'm just saying, lady, the nightmare stopped. No, they didn't.
The nightmares, like the one that you're just describing him having next to you in bed, they stopped when you entered his life.
Yeah.
I know that you're the one who brought this to me, but I want to assure you that they're over now because of you, even though you witnessed him having one
the night before.
Hours ago. Yeah.
One of those things. But yeah, this movie does not have the sensitivity to handle that. And like, I mentioned to Robin though, like what actually genuinely irks me is that like, when trauma happens to people in this movie, it happens to women, but the trauma's not about the women, it's about how it makes the men feel. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we could have gotten more into like how his mom felt about that home invasion and like how it affected her and her relationship with her son and her home. She moved on and he can't, and that's bad.
She's fine. She's fine now.
I mean, like, I assume she's had years to deal with it. Like, there's a story we're not getting that's more interesting. But here we are.
That's another thing. It's like, this is a more interesting thing.
Yeah, and I think there could have been other ways to do this, to have a tragic past. I was thinking, like, what if the men, like, actually tried to fight him, and it, like, just the beating got really, really intense? Like, that's drama there. He's a child.
Totally.
That is going to stay with him for a while.
Yeah.
Nope, this movie does not have the sensitivity to do that. More sex scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, so his mom leaves, I guess,
Yeah,
and then he's like, it's your birthday, I'm going to give you your dream day.
Tessa sees her mom first.
Tessa sees her mom?
Selma Blair.
Is that her mom?
No, okay.
I thought that was her ex's mom.
No, like, okay, Hardin's mom is the lady who came into the apartment. Like,
yes.
After the nightmare night, Tessa goes to see her mother and her ex-boyfriend Noah, and the mother is Selma Blair. No, that was her actual mother.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so Tessa goes to see her mom. It's Selma Blair, and because Selma Blair has MS, like, I heard the crew actually filmed in her house, but they only shot her at, like, one angle.
Yeah, it's just like a phone call scene, basically.
It's one scene in one house. Like, I'm glad that they accommodated her disability, but I feel like they could have shot it at a few different angles to look a little bit more dynamic.
I don't know. I was just so happy to see, like, Vivian from Legally Blonde. I was just like, yay, it's Selma! I was just, I knew she was in it, and I was looking forward to that. And though it was brief, it was lovely. It was really nice to see her.
She's in the first movie a bit more, but one of her scenes is like, okay, you remember, like, in one of the party scenes, there was a same-sex couple, and they were making out and stuff?
Uh-huh.
In the first movie, Tessa goes into her dorm room where that same couple, they're just acting, like, really close to each other and stuff, and the mom's like, Tessa, I don't want you here. I'm like, well, those are some implications. There's also scenes where, like, the couple, I think, Steph and Tristan, they're making out, and Tessa looks uncomfortable. Like, at least specify that, like, you're uncomfortable because people making out in front of you is, like, get a room, and not because it's like, ew, girls are making out.
Yeah, that could have been clearer.
Like, same like 50 Shades. There's a few shades of homophobia here.
Yeah. Yay. Love that. Love that we still have that in the year 2020.
I mean, also, this is a college campus. You know, people are experimenting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're having this, like, birthday day for Tessa, and they go do...
Or, like, it's after that Tessa sees her mom, Selma Blair. The drama is that, like, Tessa's father came to see her, but the mom shooed her away. And, like, that's the end of Selma Blair's scene. Moving on.
Moving on. Now they're doing hot yoga.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tessa has the falling out with her mom, so she goes back to Hardin. Because the mom clearly likes Tessa's older boyfriend, Noah, better. So she has, like, a picture of Noah and Tessa behind her. It's like, wow, you're really hoping for this. She doesn't approve of Hardin Scott. So obviously, when you tell your daughter that she can't have something, she'll want it. You say, oh, you can't have dessert? Well, she is grabbing a chair, going to the freezer and getting it. So, lady.
Reverse psychology, baby.
Listen, lady, you played yourself. So yeah, she goes back to Hardin, goes back to a guy named Hardin. And he's like, happy belated birthday. I will give you the perfect day. I will do whatever you want without being rude about it. And
I love that, where he was just like, well, because it's me and I'm an asshole, I won't be an asshole because it's your birthday. It's like, you need to break up.
Yep. Anyways, they go skating and he, like, complains
he keeps falling and it's like the same, like, stuntman pratfall every single time.
And she's like, do you want one of those walkers? He's like, fuck no. I'm like, it's going to be fine. It's a walker. I would rather you wear that instead of falling. Also, wear a goddamn helmet. Jeez.
Oh, my God. Yeah. He keeps falling and he's not wearing any sort of crash pads. Like, dude, this is how you get concussions.
Yeah. Maybe that would fix the movie if he got a concussion and the drama's like, will he wake up? Look, we're finding better movies in everything else. And then, anyways, they go to hot yoga or, like, acro yoga. That stuff where it's just, like, where one person A lifts person B. Obviously, it's an excuse for them to like, ogle each other and, like, stretch a lot and to say dirty things to each other in a crowded yoga class.
Yeah. But that's what makes it hot. Anyone could hear. Ooh.
I know, but, like, if you were in a yoga class and you overheard someone say, you have the nicest bum, it's like, dude.
Ma'am, are you okay? Do you know him? Should I get someone? Do you know him?
And also they play like this like sexy slow jam music while everyone's doing yoga. And it made me think like, wow, there could be yoga classes that have like nice like nylon string guitar music, and then yoga classes that have like bio chicka bio.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would
just
be
you wait
too hard.
when this pandemic is over, there is going to be sexy yoga classes. You just mark my words.
I would laugh too hard though. It's just like bio chicka bio. Wow, I was like, okay, get into downward dog. I'm like, Jesus, that would be good. That's gonna be my new startup. Okay. Sexy yoga where everyone just laughs. Like, we're trying to have a good time. We're just playing it to laugh and not to, like, actually do horny things.
Yeah.
Anyways,
There's hot yoga, and then there's extra hot yoga.
Yeah. So anyways, back with the movie, Hardin and Tessa decide to do some horny things. They go into the shower. Oh, Robin, you had a lot to say about this scene.
I just thought that it was nice that they were showing how clumsy shower sex can be. They were struggling to get their clothes off. They accidentally, like, doused shampoo on each other. It still seemed like they were having fun. They were having a good time, but it was not as cinematic as some other shower sex scenes I've seen, and I appreciated that clumsy representation.
You know what? That's fair. I still think the scene is funny, because I like to imagine, like, they thought, like, oh, I'll put this body wash on you, but like, oh, no, that's shampoo. You wasted all my shampoo.
Yeah, they did waste a lot of shampoo.
Like, it's telling a lot about me when, like, I'm seeing this shower sex scene, and I'm like, you're wasting shampoo, guys.
Yeah, you guys, like, neither one of you standing under the stream of water. That's a lot of waste. I'm not okay with...
Anyway, so
you guys like put a plug in the tub maybe and just kind of economically use that water.
And then anyways, we see Hardin's booty for a bit. She's about to
there's a butt
she's
shot.
She's about to suck, do the suck, and then she gets a call from her boss.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Anyways, this is another scene where I'm like, I feel like I would only want to see this with Robin.
Yeah.
When I watched the scene, the first thing I thought was, what would Robin think?
Oh, that's what? You saw that scene and thought of me? I mean, thank you, I think.
I was thinking about, like, is this going to be awkward to watch? Like, in all seriousness, I thought, like, I want to watch the movie for the podcast. I just don't know if this is going to, like, ruin the friendship. We watched a Harry Styles fanfic, Horny on Main movie together.
I feel like it was a bad experience, but now we're trauma bonded and closer than ever, and that's really nice.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So she's about to do the suck, gets a call from her boss, and he's like, babysit my kid for a bit. And so they go and do that together.
They babysit the kid, and Hardin Scott, like, teaches the kid how to swear, and somehow makes him the friend.
And this kid, by the way, super cute child actor, dresses like a fucking narc. He looks like young Sheldon. It's very cute.
But, he is the cutest kid, ever.
He's a very cute kid.
Like, I wish he had a better script, because he is adorable. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want to pinch his cheeks. He was wearing a bow tie.
Yeah.
It was the cutest thing ever. It's, like, distractingly cute.
Yeah.
It's, like, also it's just kind of weird to, like, have a scene where it's, like, shower banging and then suddenly cute child. And, like, what? I don't know. I guess the pacing of the story is really off.
I guess. Well, it's like, I knew that sex could lead to children, but I didn't think it happened this fast.
Yeah. Anyways, they babysit the kid. The kid leaves, and then Hardin and Tessa bang in the office, and that was a scene that made Robin uncomfortable.
I hated that. I hated it so much.
Yep.
So. They did not even. They did. It's the lack of decorum. I think of just leaving the door wide open, not even closing the shades or the blinds or anything. No semblance of privacy. It's just
protection.
Just out in the open. I didn't see them use any kind of protection, and that's irresponsible as well. Myriad problems with that sex scene. I did not enjoy it. And then when they started, it wasn't even. There was no hint of erotica. It was just kind of rhythmic. And that was unfortunate, too.
It's, again, like, one of my issues. It's like, okay, you can have, like, all these banging scenes, but, like, don't, like, linger weirdly to the point where it feels like it's just lethargic. It's just a bunch of meat.
Yeah. Definitely lethargic.
It's like, to quote Jenny Nicholson, it's just a bunch of meat. Like, you forget that it's attached to humans.
I feel like they didn't do that much, like, that many close-ups or anything like that. I feel like they...
Yeah, but there was a point where I was just like, I don't care, because I just don't. Anyway, so moving on from that scene, what happens next? I can't remember, but isn't that when they go to, like, Hardin's father's party?
Yeah.
In that big-ass house, and because it's Atlanta, that was probably a former plantation.
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm like, this is a nice house that looks very, like, old money and stuff. Like, there's a good chance that this might be a former plantation.
Perhaps.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go to the house, or Hardin doesn't like it because he has some unresolved trauma. His father movie does not have the sensitivity to deal with that, so...
Nope, so instead he gets drunk and makes fun of his dad's tartan pants, which, to be fair, are hilarious looking.
And then he punches his dad in the face, but...
Yeah.
As you do. But also, funny thing happens, they start arguing in front of, like, all these guests at the Christmas party. Mm-hmm. I hope it's easy to keep along, because I'm honestly forgetting shit about this movie, but they argue, and then the dad's like, can we go somewhere private? They go to a different room, don't even close the door, and there are people staring in through the door.
Yeah, there are people just, like, who are like, hi, we're still over here. Like you guys didn't move that much. We can still hear you.
Yeah, be a normal person, go to a bathroom, close the door, lock it, and then whisper yell.
Exactly. Yeah, no, they're not good at fighting.
Nope, that is a big-ass house, and you just go to the room next door to argue. All of the space, and you're just like, let's go to a different room 2 feet away. Anyways, you needed to be there last night. So yeah, he punches his dad. It's so dramatic, and like, honestly, when I watched this for the first time, I just found it hilarious in a sense. Just like this failed attempt at drama with no sensitivity or like subtlety in ways of how to handle it. Like, he punches his dad in the face, the mom storms out, and Hardin follows. He's like, you can't forgive him? Or like, you can forgive him and I can't? And she's like, I already forgave him. Whatever. It's something about forgiveness. Like, yeah,
she said forgived. I remember that.
The mom was the one who was assaulted, but, like, obviously, like, it's about Hardin.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
Again, there's a bigger story in here. I want to see, like, the mom's story, but no, we got to focus on this brooding Harry Styles dude while a really nice Sufjan Stevens song plays in the background.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, it didn't fit. Like, if you thought, like, the forbidden love thing was, like, the use of the wrong song during a scene, like, they just played this very mellow, sweet, like, folk song over like this montage of Hardin like throwing a lamp at the wall and drinking excessively. It just didn't seem like it fit, but I guess like I'm trying to think like what other song would have worked in there. But do you know that Simple Plan song where it's like, and it's just too late, nothing lasts
that would have been good. That would have been good.
I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. That would have worked, but I guess
that would have been great. That would have worked so well.
That. It needs like another angst song. Like I'm thinking, what else is like another over the top angsty song? I'm like, Evanescence, wake me up inside.
See, that one might have been a bit too intense. I think the Simple Plan walks that line really well.
Okay, fine. Clearly, I should have directed this movie.
Precisely.
I respect Sufjan Stevens a lot. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, but your song is too sweet for this scene, so we're just gonna go with Simple Plan instead.
Yeah. When we re-release the movie.
When we re-release the movie, and then that'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the Robin and Alesandria cut.
Yeah. Ideally, one day we will have the Bad Movie Podcast cut of all of the movies that we have reviewed thus far. Yeah, totally.
Like our version of Princess Diaries, too.
Yep. Just more Chris Pine.
I knew it. I love that we both said it at the same time. Hey, I was thinking like maybe more Julie Andrews, but you know me, where I'm only like really into young Julie Andrews.
Fair. It's less creepy that way. It's still creepy. It's less creepy.
It's creepy? Okay, fine.
I feel like parasocial crushes in general are kind of creepy, but that's just me personally. Maybe I'm just creepy.
I think we've just grown up from our like parasocial crush age. It's like it's not really like much of a crush, but for me, it's more like
I'm in quarantine. I have parasocial crushes on everybody.
I mean, it's not really much of a crush on Julie Andrews. It's more like I saw her in The Sound of Music, and I'm like, she is really, really pretty. Yeah. And I keep staring into those beautiful blue eyes during this scene. The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she is very, very pretty in that movie. I can't let it go.
No, I think we should talk about how pretty Julie Andrews is for 5 more minutes.
Yeah. Well, okay, it was just so weird. Like, I'm like, I love this song, but like, I'm genuinely really into this young Julie Andrews, and it felt weird to me, cause like I have not seen this movie since I was a kid, and then years later I realized I'm bi. I watched this movie again, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's fun to return to movies where you're like, oh, this was a bisexual movie for me.
Sky High.
Oh my god, Sky High. Not for me so much, but I know it was for you.
Okay, let's go back to let's get away from my Julie Andrews crush and
yeah.
Anyways, so Hardin, after the Sufjan song, apologizes to his dad. He and Tessa go to a New Year's Eve party.
Yeah,
I
really
beer pong.
They played beer pong.
They spend a long time on beer pong.
Yeah, that was a weirdly long sequence. But also, can I just say, at this Halloween party, I've never seen this before.
New Year's Eve.
What did I say?
It's a New Year's. You said Halloween.
Oh my god! I keep saying that because they were wearing costumes. I remember thinking it was so weird that they were just wearing costumes for a New Year's party.
I mean, I guess do what you want. Like for New Year's Eve, I didn't do much. I just had a lot of sparkling wine.
Hell yeah!
But anyways, they play Truth or Dare with this girl who's named Molly, who's like the bitch. It's like, you know how like in every group of friends in movies,
in every fan fiction, there's a bitch
token
character.
Bitch friend. There's a token bitch friend. It makes you think, get better friends. She doesn't seem to get along with anyone else. Why are y'all friends?
Yeah, and she has, I hope this isn't her real hair. I'm pretty sure they put little pink extensions in her hair. She looked like a Monster High character. It was not good. It was just like streaky pink hair. It was not cute. She was cute. She was gorgeous, but the hair was just not good.
Yeah, her hair actually made me realize, this is a movie that is like, it's like what middle school teachers think edgy looks like. Not middle school teachers. What middle school students think edgy looks like. Yeah. But this is weird. This weird to say that because this is a fanfic who was written by someone who's older than Harry Styles. So yeah. Wow. And anyways, so the bitch Molly, I don't want to call her that. The pink hair lady. Molly says she basically goads Tessa into staying and playing Truth or Dare because that's what you do at parties. Truth or Dare. Are you a virgin? Because that like in the first movie they play a game of Truth or Dare, and that's one of the questions. But like also everyone says virgin like that's a bad thing. Like chill. There are a lot of people who are virgins. Calm down. She's like, wait, you are a virgin? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Dude, there are so many other things to care about.
Exactly.
You're at university. Don't you care about your degree?
Yes.
I'm saying.
And can I just say, during the Truth or Dare moment, I loved that moment where like they were just kind of going back and forth and being really rude, and then Tessa was like, is it true that you're a whore? And then they just kind of kept going back and forth, and it just cut to like this one girl looking between them and going, do they not like each other? And I loved that moment.
Yep. And then it also like there's a cut where they go to the same sex couple, Steph and Kristen, and one of them's like, oh shit. I'm like, also like you guys seem really edgy. I don't think the word whore would really cut it. I'm just saying as someone, I really enjoyed the series on YouTube, The Most Popular Girls in School.
Oh my god.
Yep. It's the Barbie show where they say every like swear word to exist. So,
Can I just say something?
If you want to go down, you gotta go popular girls in school. You can't just say, "Are you a whore?"
Most popular girls in school. That's
it slaps. I've been binging it, but anyways, yes, Robin.
A good series. Quick thing about that show, I will say. When I was in high school, in my drama class, we had to learn monologues, a comedy monologue and a dramatic monologue. So for my comedy monologue, I learned that Ashley Cachadorian, you were supposed to be watching the door monologue. And then, Garrett Mendez saw it. So there is a video online of Garrett Mendez and, oh my God, I don't remember their names, Carlos and
Mark?
Mark, yes, of the three of them watching it and like it, and they enjoyed it, and that was like, that's one of the highlights of my life so far.
Can I tell you something else?
Sure.
For my high school drama school, I was auditioning for a school play, and for one of our dramatic monologues, I did the Ashley Cachadorian one too.
For the dramatic?
It was a dramatic monologue.
Whoa.
I played it for all the drama, because that's what makes it work. No. Ashley Cachadorian, you were supposed to be watching the door.
You were supposed to be watching the
door! Ashley Cachadorian.
Do you know what these are? These are a little girl's arms. A little girl with dreams, with legs, with a head.
You know when I did the audition, I was holding 2 pool noodles. So
Nice. I wasn't holding anything.
Yep.
I was just pretending.
That's my monologue. That's one of my monologues in high school. I also...
I love that we have that in common. That's awesome.
Yep. Oh, speaking of more high school drama, I just want to get this off my chest. I went through an anime phase in high school, and we had to write a monologue, and I wrote it from the perspective of one of my favorite characters from the anime, kind of dressed up as them and performed it, and it's basically I performed fan fiction on stage at my old high school. So I hope that
living your best life
sets the tone of what kind of writer I am. But here's the thing: I also know other serious screenwriters who write fanfic. So it's just something we grow up from, that we still do on occasion because it makes us happy. Mm-hmm. That's my past. I have atoned for my sins.
Yeah. So anyway, before we get back to the movie, check out Most Popular Girls in School on YouTube. It's a sick web series.
Yeah.
Stop motion Barbie dolls has some of the most relatable bi representation I've ever seen, and that's kind of sad, but I think it also rocks that it came out of this show. Anyway,
and had the best insults. So again, I've been spoiled on that series where they say some of the most incredible insults ever. So in After We Collided, when people say, is it true that you're a whore? And people act like it's a bad insult. It's dude.
Calm down.
Also, by the way Molly holds herself, I feel like she'd be proud to call herself that.
Yeah, she has that kind of I'm a slut. Who gives a shit?
Comfortable with her sexuality. It's I don't think that's gonna hurt her, Tessa. I'm sorry. Again, you gotta be making her cry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But apparently it does get to her because then a girls' fight erupts, and that made me very happy.
And I'm just saying, if I was ever in a girl fight, you wouldn't be slap, slap. I've seen UFC. I know what to do.
Yeah, I am bringing my elbow into your clavicle, ma'am.
Yep. But yeah, they have a fight, and then Hardin grabs Tessa and takes her upstairs with the fireman Carrie, where they bang again. Right.
Yeah, they're fucking into the new year, and that's nice. That's a fun way to go into it.
It was a thing. Anyway, so
Oh yeah, and then he sees some texts from Trevor on her phone, and
we haven't seen Trevor in an hour.
We haven't seen Trevor in a while, but he's still a threat because he's played by Zach.
He's another guy. He's another guy. And God, I think if you wanted a better love triangle, they should have made Tessa fall in love with Landon. That would have been some intensity right there.
That would have been pretty cool. Although I will say, I like Trevor as a character, and I think he's a good kind of foil to
the nice guy, to a very sensible man.
Yeah, exactly. He's he's grown, he's got a job. Who's this other guy?
Yeah, he's nice, he's kind. It's he's not he's not like Superman where he's just a fantastic guy, but he's just a very simple, grounded, nice guy.
Yeah, he seems sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. And yet somehow it's obviously she goes for the bad boy because he likes literature. Anyways, I don't think he actually confronts her about the text.
Yeah, he's just he just kind of flirts with an ex at the party, and then the two of them get into a screaming match.
If that's all it takes to have a screaming match, break up. Please. Yeah,
it was at this point that in my notes I wrote they should break up ! Yeah, because they keep fighting.
Yeah, he talks to this girl who's one of his quote unquote former conquests.
Oh yeah, that's how
he really calls her a conquest.
He does. I forgot about that. That's
yeah, straight men. Straight men, they be like that. So yeah, he talks to her and she says, "I never kiss and tell," and then Tessa, who's an English major, hears that, and instead she's like, "You piece of shit," instead of thinking critically. She could have walked to him and said, "Hello, Hardin, sweetie, who is this person?"
Yeah. And instead she's like, "You piece of shit." Yeah, they just get into a screaming match on the lawn of some poor person's house.
It's a frat house. They're probably used to screaming, but I feel even at a frat house, if I saw people having a yelling match outside, I would be should I call the cops?
Yeah. It's
something
concerning.
in that vein. Yeah. In that vein of, you guys are here to party, right? Or it's been New Year's for 2 minutes. Yeah. They argue, they break up, and he's like, "I'm trying to be a better person for you," and she's like, "I can't trust you anymore." Yeah. I'm break up. I'm sorry, but if that's what you're screaming at each other, "I can't trust you anymore," fucking break up.
Yeah, break up.
And, like, Tessa's 19, so, like, she'll find another. In the bluntest terms, she will find another.
Yeah. But yeah, so they kind of break up, but then, he's like trying to find her the next day after they have this fight. The next morning.
He sleeps on a couch outside of the frat house. She sleeps in the apartment. She's like, she's like looking for him because he didn't come back home.
Yeah.
So she gets in her car, where I assume she's looking for him.
Yes,
but honestly, she could probably just be, she's actually looking for him.
I thought so, yeah, that was the impression I got.
Oh.
Anyway, but then it was like, they showed her using a cell phone a lot while driving, and I was like, there's gonna be a car crash. There's no way that this isn't gonna turn into a car crash.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold...
There's a car crash.
Wow! Like, who would have thunk
it? Hardin, by the way, is in another car with his former conquest to charge his phone and check his messages. Tessa gets into a car crash, and here's the thing. The car crash isn't his fault, and it's not her fault, because she moved forward when it was green, and she still got hit.
Yeah, the light was green, and then somebody just crashed into her. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't... Like, the weird thing was my clue that there was going to be a car crash is she was fiddling with her phone, and then that's not what led to the car crash.
No, I mean, I guess it kind of did. Was green.
It kind of did, because she was late heading out to the light because she was looking at her phone.
Yeah, I guess, but like,
still.
It's still not her fault.
Yeah.
If she was going when she was green, it's not her fault.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she gets taken away in an ambulance. Also, my dog's probably barking in the background. Hopefully you can't hear it, but she gets to go into an ambulance, and then Hardin, he says, "Stop the car" to his former conquest. We don't get her name. That's another thing to put out. We don't know her name.
Former conquest, FC.
Yeah. He gets out, he says, "Stop the car," when he sees, like, an ambulance, and they're taking Tessa away in the ambulance, and he's running after it, like, "Stop! Stop! Tessa!"
Yeah.
And she goes to the hospital, and Hardin, he goes back to his apartment and, like, he tries to call the hospital to find her and stuff, and then his stepbrother comes in.
Yeah.
And they get into an argument that... Like, Robin, do you want to explain this? Because I still can't wrap my head around it.
I don't know what they were fighting about. I don't even remember.
Like, Landon comes in and he's like, "You didn't come home last night." I'm like, it's him not coming home last night is not the cause of the accident. And, like, it really was just a plain accident. If she was moving forward when it was green, even if she was, quote-unquote, late moving forward, it was still green.
Yeah.
Anyways, this spurs Hardin and Landon to start wrestling each other.
Yeah,
like,
they just start wrestling.
Fighting. But, okay, I told Robin this when we were watching, but I have rewound that scene, like, so many times to see who threw the first punch. Like, who's starting this? Is it, like, Hardin being mad at his stepbrother or something? And, like, I still can't figure out, like... Yeah. Like, who's fighting?
They just kind of grab each other and fall to the ground. Like, they
argue, like... Yeah, it's like, "You didn't come home last night." Then they start wrestling, and like, I've been pushed during arguments, but I have never been, or like, I don't know, like, what context are you gonna like wrestle someone in an argument like that? I'm just, again, I rewound the scene to see who punches first or like who initiates it, because like I think it was Hardin because he has the most motivation to do it, but I couldn't see. I didn't know. And if it's Landon doing the fighting, then he's a shitty stepbrother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Pretty
it.
much. Yeah.
Anyways, the scene cuts to Hardin getting a call, and it's from Trevor, who like went to the hospital with Tessa.
Right, yeah, because I guess he's her emergency contact, even though they've been working together for like a week.
Yeah, like he's just there at the hospital with Tessa, but it makes you think like Tessa was in the hospital, and the person that she called to be there, or like someone who was called to be there for her,
was Trevor. The best man in this movie.
Yeah. And it, like the only reason, like I know it's a fanfic thing where it's like, oh yeah, he's there just because they need Trevor to be there because they're writing the damn thing. But he was probably there because, in my mind, I'm rationalizing it by saying he's there because he's her emergency contact. And that says a lot about their relationship. Because I'm saying if Hardin was Tessa's emergency contact, they would call him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
Yeah.
It was Trevor.
Because she should be with Trevor. # Team Trevor.
And honestly, I'm surprised that her mother wasn't even called. Her mom.
Yeah. I guess Selma Blair just like couldn't do a hospital scene.
But in the context of the story, her mom is in driving distance.
Well.
I mean, again, we'll work. I'll take as much Selma Blair as I can get.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that, like, she manages to get more work in the future.
Me too. But yeah, so she's like recovering from the car crash, And then Hardin goes back to the UK.
Yep, just like that.
And then
he goes back to the UK, as you can do, and he and Tessa spend like 3 days apart before he comes back to the US.
Yeah, he comes back to the US like right away because it's just that easy to fly all the way to Seattle in the year 2020.
It's fanfic world. It's fanfic world, basically. World. Yeah. He goes to the UK. His mom gives him a pep talk. I don't even know what the pep talk is about. I actually forgot. Or it's just something that will motivate him to come back.
She was basically saying that thing of like, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting it to kill your enemies. Like, she basically just says that. And he's like,
she says something wise.
He's like,
and then
right.
she's like, go back to the US.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you know that, like, it's not, you can't just buy a ticket. Even if it's Coach, that's like, you're going outside of the continent. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think I'm too adult to enjoy this movie, where it's like the cliches of the romance genre have me like, wait, you can't do that.
Yeah.
No, that's illegal. Yeah, he just goes back to the UK and then comes back to the US like nothing is wrong. I swear to God, it was 3 days since they're falling out.
Yeah.
And like, okay, Tessa goes to a party for Vance Publishing.
Yes, that's happening meanwhile.
Yep, it's a staff party where she's with Trevor, and like clearly they're really good friends because they're standing next to each other. Like, honestly, like last time I've been at like parties or social events, I'm always standing beside the person I know the most. Mm-hmm. Yep, just like that's realistic, and they're chatting and stuff. And
and then the boss is like, I have something to say, and then young Sheldon, his son, comes out and kneels in front of the boss's girlfriend, who also works for the company, and is like, will you marry my dad and become my stepmom? And like, it was cute because the kid is cute, but I thought it was a weird way to propose. Where it's like, I'm just gonna introduce a middleman here.
It's been weirder. Like, he could have just put like imagine if he put like the ring and like a glass of champagne and she drank it and swallowed the ring.
Yeah.
That is the end to this movie.
Yeah, I suppose no one's
Caroline swallows the ring. Oh, wait, no, her name's not Caroline. What's her name?
I don't remember. I remember she was
blonde.
I
remember her name.
I rember she was blonde, and that's all I remember. I call her
Caroline because that was her character in Vampire Diaries. I think her real name's Candace King.
Oh, that actress. Oh, Candace King.
Candace King.
Cool.
I only know that because of the Jenny Nicholson video, but like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what was her name? Again, I only know her as Caroline from the Vampire Diaries. I don't even watch that show, so
we can just call her Caroline. That's fine.
She proposes, and it's like, it's happy. Everyone's like, yay! Even though the proposal was kind of weird. Yeah. Also, I'm just not a fan of public proposals. So
yeah, that's true.
That's my bias.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Hardin just like suddenly appears at the party like a ghost. There's just a scene where it shows like somebody walking past a balcony, and then suddenly he's there looking down at Tessa. It's very creepy.
She drops her champagne glass.
Yeah, why does she drop her champagne glass?
I don't know, but then this day player actor walks up and says, "I'll take care of that," and she doesn't try to help.
Yeah, she doesn't even try to help clean up the mess that she made, this makes me not like her very much.
It's small things that make you like a character or not. It's the subtle details.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if I broke a mug in someone's house, I would feel like shit, and I'd also like try to make sure no one steps in it. I'm sorry, I keep things real in this world.
I would do the same thing, and personally, I feel like more fanfiction protagonists should be like us.
Like, for a self-insert character, like, I don't know what the fantasy is, but anyways, obviously her and Hardin get back together and stuff.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Trevor's clearly the better guy.
Trevor is clearly the better guy. But there's this scene where they leave the party together. Or no, he like chases her out of the party and then doesn't realize that she's not gone and she's like behind him. And she's
he leaves the building, goes outside, and there's a Prius Uber that leaves, and like he's like, oh no, I just missed her, and because this is a fanfic movie, she's right behind him. She's like, you're always following me, huh? And you know what? That could be a line in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like he appears with the strings like,
somebody please make a horror edit of this movie because it lends itself so well.
Yep. And then the line is, you're always following me, huh? It's like he's Freddy Krueger and she's... Yeah. I don't know the name of the character, but you get what I mean, right?
Totally.
He's like... This could be a horror movie. This is why I'm like, yeah, y'all should have committed and just made him like a serial killer.
Absolutely.
But maybe don't make it like they end up together. Because it would be an interesting story if she just tries to run.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my boyfriend's a serial killer. I'm going to go this way and never come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just move at that point.
So they leave the party, and then there's a shot of him getting a tattoo, and I assumed that it was like days later, but then she walks up beside him while he's getting the tattoo, and you're like, oh, that's her dress from the party. They went from a party straight to a tattoo parlor. And that's
as you do, because tattoos are things that you can get in the spur of the moment.
Yep. And
he obviously doesn't give a fuck of what people think about his tattoos.
I guess.
He has tattoos on his hands. So he's that confident in his ability to get a job.
Yeah.
That he got hand tattoos.
Yeah. And then the movie ends with the two of them walking out of the tattoo parlor.
In the same clothes.
Yeah,
so obviously.
hand in hand. They've had a lovely night. They've clearly reconciled. And then this apparently homeless man walks up to them, and Hardin just kind of attacks him at first because he's like, assassin or something. Like, he just thinks that it's somebody
That's
trying
what you
to
do
attack his girlfriend.
if someone's gonna mug you, you punch them.
Exactly.
Even though I just feel like realistically you'd be like, hey, I'll give you what you want, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
But he's a guy who clearly wants to punch things. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. So they so they're leaving. This man walks up to them. He punches them. And he's attacking him. He's up against a wall. And then Tessa's like, wait, stop. And then she looks at the guy's face and she goes, Dad? And thus ends the movie.
They fade and yep.
We're just oh, cool. She's found her long lost father, which was by the way, that was a small narrative, just kind of woven into this movie a little bit.
Yeah, back when we were talking about her mom, Selma Blaircy, and she was like, your dad came to visit you, but I chased him off. And again, this movie has no sensitivities, so they're not exploring the subtleties of why does Tessa want to see her dad, or why is she mad that her mom chased away her dad? Plenty of questions. So yeah, the movie ends, and that was another. That was the first fanfic movie that Robin's seen.
Not the first one I've seen. I've seen 50 Shades. But it's the first
Wattpad.
It's the first Wattpad production I've seen, and I plan on seeing more because that was very fun.
Yep, Wattpad Studios.
Oh wait, sorry, the movie's not quite over. There's an after credits scene.
Oh yeah, and Robin loves it.
I thought it was a great little moment. It added nothing to the story, and I loved it. It was just Trevor, Dylan Sprouse's character, back at the party that the other two had left. He's back at the party. He's in the bathroom. He's looking at himself in the mirror, and he's trying to practice asking Tessa out. And that's it.
Yeah, and is at the party. When he opens the door to leave, it's this is the party.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of looks like he's in a bathroom, and then it's when he's leaving where you're like, oh, he's still at Vance's place. Okay, cool.
And then, obviously, she doesn't end up with the guy who treats her well, because that's how these movies work, unfortunately. Yeah, but it's just sad, because, he just seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And, when you have to compare yourself to, baby Lord Voldemort,
yeah.
A wet sponge is better. A wet sponge can treat you better than baby Lord Voldemort.
Honestly, yeah.
But here's the thing, Dylan Sprouse is not returning for the sequel, so...
No! She'll never get to date Trevor! No!
Well, here's the thing, he's not that big into acting anymore. He runs, a brewery where he brews mead. Mead, fun. Basically honey wine. But yeah, that's what he's working in now, and he's not an actor anymore, and I'm happy for him. But, I swear to God, he took this movie for a paycheck and not because he cares about the After cinematic universe. Also, another thing to say, I don't know why this is called After.
Well, this one's After We Collided.
I know, but, the next one is After We Fell, and the one after that is After Ever Happy, and there's a prequel, Before.
Oh, my God!
But, I just don't know why it's called After. There was a line in the movie, before I met him, that was just my life, and now there is After. I'm like, what?
Okay.
Lady, what? I'm sorry. I've seen some good titles out there that, make sense in a way. I don't know, it just seems so lazy. This is coming from a fanfic writer who would do lazy shit all the time. But this felt lazy, and this got published.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still fun. Still entertaining. And at the end of the day, that's the job that they're trying to get done.
After we collided, after we spent an hour and a half watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think the series is gonna keep going on to after
so.
we wed, after we divorced.
Yeah.
After we went to court to see who would get custody of the kids.
Yeah.
After we died.
After we died.
The
Afterlife spin-off series? Hell yeah.
Yep.
Into it.
Yep, and that is it. So, final thoughts on the movie. Because that was a big-ass recap.
Oh my gosh.
So many tangents. So many mentioning my Julie Andrews crush again.
Yeah. Final thoughts. I enjoyed this movie. I think they should break up. Those are my final thoughts.
My final thoughts is, why the fuck is Wattpad getting stories published into the mainstream when AO3 exists? Like, okay, here's the thing. AO3, they won a Hugo Award.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Cool.
So I can say, like, oh, I'm a Hugo Award winner. Ooh. But also, like, do you not know the Lindsay Ellis joke where she mentioned that AO3, like, she lost a Hugo Award to AO3?
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
Because she was nominated in the same category as, like, the entire archive. But yeah, it's a Hugo Award. It's a genuine award that gets given out, that has been given out for decades. That is the fanfiction archive that won a legitimate award, even though award shows are, like, honestly, they're shit. But still, that is some merit there, and yet it's Wattpad. Wattpad has, like, well, honestly, I shouldn't make fun of Wattpad, but, like, that is where you go when you need, like, One Direction during the Purge and stuff like that. It's when you need very weirdly specific self-insert fanfic.
Hell yeah. So,
like, yeah, you get what you want there, but still, I just know that there's so many other great stories to tell, and it's Wattpad that gets the spotlight and the funding.
Yeah, but we got to watch a great movie because of it, and that is not nothing.
As long as they break up.
Yeah.
After we broke up, that's the next
I'm going to
movie.
write After We Collided fan fiction that's about them breaking up and then her running off with Trevor.
Honestly, I want to write After We Collided fan fiction where the love triangle is with Landon. I'm like, that is some drama. Well, yeah, it's like, it's not someone that Harding could just beat up with no consequence. I mean, he can't beat up anyone, but that's his stepbrother. Yeah. And that's someone who will be in proximity to, in a sense. I'm like, that is drama right there.
That is very dramatic. That's true. Yeah, go for it.
Yep. Also, Landon just seems really nice.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's not even going to be like Twilight where it's going to be like, okay, obviously Landon is better because he is just more well-adjusted, more calm, and he likes literature too, so...
Perfect guy. Perfect man.
Yeah. Her standards are kind of low.
I mean,
Is there anything else I didn't mention? Oh, I didn't mention this with you. Josephine Langford, she's the sister of Catherine Langford.
I thought so. Cool. So she's got like an Australian accent too. Then
so we got a Langford, a Fiennes, and a Sprouse.
That's a good bouquet of actors.
Yep, right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, final thoughts because we have gone on for a while.
They should break up.
They should break up. And I'm going to work on my drama series about a love triangle featuring two stepbrothers. But, like, again, it's going to be totally one-sided just because one of them is well-adjusted and calm.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah. So, anyways, shall we be signing off now?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening.
All right. Thank you for listening. I'm at Sandrification on Twitter and Insta.
And I am at That Chick Comic, so feel free to give me a follow. We'd also like to say thank you very much to Aryo Nazarete for our theme song, which he composed and recorded himself. We really appreciate it, so follow him online as well at Aryo Nazarete. Thank you for listening.
Yep. This has been the Untitled Bad Movie Podcast.